Yeah, like my wife, she's Mexican, and for some reason, like I knew this was like in Italian, like, but like when I was listening, I was like, "This is in Spanish." Is like when I was telling my wife, she's like, "No, it isn't," and I'm just like, "Yeah, it's Spanish, people, and this is in Spanish," and I feel like such a fucking idiot.
Wow.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Anyways, guys, what's up? No, I was playing. What's up, everybody? We are finally back with another episode of Cult Flick Symposium. This time, we are going to do it on a couple westerns. A Pistol for Ringo. What's the other one? That's how unfamiliar I am. No, I'm just playing. The Return of Ringo is the sequel. Derek, man, we finally got a spaghetti western in here, or westerns,
Finally.
I should say. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not the last.
Yeah, episode 2. It's like, finally, good lord, we went so long on this channel without
After all this time,
yeah, episode 2, spaghetti westerns.
you guys have waited, and it's here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be completely real with this. We were supposed to do this like 3 weeks ago, and then like not to touch Lemony Snickets or anything, but a series of unfortunate events have been happening over and over again for 3 weeks. So I'm like looking at my notes. I was gonna watch these later this week, but we found like a little slot in time to record today, and I'm like, I'll remember them a little bit better. But looking at my notes now, I'm like, shit, man, what does this mean exactly? What does that mean? And like, I know the movies. I've seen them each probably like 3 times, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I've seen them 3 times. Hopefully that's enough to, because I'm like one note with my notes. I'm just like, I'll remember that tomorrow. I don't need to write a whole paragraph. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, man. Lucky for you, I just rewatched them the last couple of days. So if I can't remember parts of it, then I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah, I was planning on doing the same shit, but here we are, man. Here we are. You want to do the plot for us?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Let's start off with the first one to be released was A Pistol for Ringo.
Nice.
Came out in 1965. It says an angel-faced gunfighter is tasked with infiltrating a ranch overrun by Mexican bandits and saving their hostages, including the fiance of the local sheriff.
Sounds like a good enough plot to me.
Yeah, that's all you need right there. And I'll tell you what, that's all that happens. That's all that happens.
It's not,
plot-wise, at least.
Not really any crazy, M. Night Shyamalan twists going on.
No.
I mean, the dumbass.
The runtime too.
Yeah, the dumbass bandits were quite fooled a lot, but that's just was in their nature.
That was hilarious too, by the way. What was the main bandit's name? Chico?
Yeah,
Chico. So. Yeah, he gosh, that guy every single time he's just 40%. He's like, okay. He's like, now it's 50%.
Yeah, just rolling with it. Yeah, dude, it was weird because I was watching I don't know why. I guess it's because there's like Mexicans like in the movie, or at least they're portrayed as Mexicans. It almost looks like they got, I don't know, whatever Mexican version of blackface is going on. I think that's happening in this movie.
Yes. But, there is definitely some questionable racial things that happen in some of these films.
Is that spray tan? Maybe that's okay.
This shouldn't be happening right now.
Yeah, spray tans are still cool, but I don't know if like spray tans and then act like you're Mexican are cool. Well, like, where's the line drawn? It's weird here. But I found myself.
I think we know where that line is a little bit better now. Thankfully.
Yeah, for sure. You talking about the tan line or like the? Oh, okay.
Both. Yeah. I'm from Oklahoma, but we all have tan lines.
Yeah, like my wife, she's Mexican, and for some reason, like I knew this was like in Italian, like, but like when I was listening, I was like, this is in Spanish. Is like when I was telling my wife, she's like, no, it isn't, and I'm just like, yeah, it's Spanish, people, and this is in Spanish, and I feel like such a fucking idiot because I knew this was like an Italian movie, it wasn't Spanish, but like every time I've watched this, I've thought it was in Spanish. It shows you how much I've worked on being bilingual, but yeah.
The director Duccio Tessari. Yeah, that's it. I guess that is Italian name.
Yeah, well, his name is, he's got douche in his name,
Duccio.
So he's really winning here. We're probably not even pronouncing that right.
I hope I am.
It's Duccio, bro. Okay, well, nobody likes the Dutch. We just keep saying offensive shit.
Duccio.
Yeah, Duccio. It's all jokes, people. Did we touch on the runtime and movie year?
No, I got it right here. It's an hour and 38 minutes long.
Not too shabby. I can dig that runtime. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good runtime. I like it when the spaghetti westerns keep it short.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. Hit me with that movie year, Derek.
It was released in 65? 1965, a year before my father was born.
Damn.
We're going way back.
Yeah, shout out to Pops.
Shout out.
That might be a diss to Pops. We going way back.
I call him old all the time.
Yeah, Pops is old. Aren't they all, though?
That's right.
That's wild, man. Movie? Yeah, we're all old. It's all happening. It's all happening. Yeah, dude, it's wild. Like, I feel like these 60 Westerns movies, like, they seem like they age the best out of these kinds of movies. I don't know what it is.
My
There's
God,
something about it.
I absolutely love the 60s Westerns. I mean, mainly like the foreign-made ones, the spaghetti Westerns, the Hollywood ones, where you start getting, your more John Wayne Westerns. A lot of those they drag more for me. They're slower. They
taking themselves a little too serious.
Exactly.
Got in add in a few goofy things. Awards and noms. I didn't see any.
See. I don't know. Did they? I know that it was pretty well received.
I might be wrong, but I
don't see any.
Wow. One Best Picture. Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
Nice. Jesus Christ. I watched too much
Best
South
Actor.
Park lately. Unreal. All right. Performance. I feel like this is just starting to become a trend, which you even joked about how you were just like, it's not always the main character, but like Ringo for me.
Yeah,
it's got to be. He's got a little icon in him, man. He's got that face, that value. Like it's not just the angel face vibe or whatever he's got going on. It's just he feels like a presence. He's a little bit bigger than life. The actor really brings something to the table that makes this character elevate and really elevates the source material as a whole because of it. And I can't not commend Ringo and the guy that plays him for that. What is his name? I knew 3 weeks ago. We'll come back to it. I'm dumb.
I know his American name is Montgomery Wood.
Now that is an all-American name.
Isn't that a spaghetti Western actor name right there? And I'll tell you, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, yeah, it's the same for me. But
Montgomery
Wood for me too, especially in the first one. But I do have a different choice for the second film. So
that's interesting because I think I prefer him in the second one.
Oh no, he did great, but there's somebody that just I like just a little bit better.
They were shining. Favorite scene? For me, I love like the fist fight he has, dude. That's just like over dramatic.
It's like 5 minutes long, man.
Yeah. He's just like you can tell the punches are clearly missing. There's like a point where like you can't see the guy in the other room, but it looks like he like chucks a chicken at him, or maybe the chicken happens to fly at him.
There's like 5 chickens.
Yeah,
it's like there's like 5 chickens at one time.
Yeah, that was just I love that cheesy shit, dude. It was so over exaggerated the way they were fighting, and they're just like, let him fill, don't kill him, like let him fight it out though. Like
the way he smiles when he looks over and he sees that axe.
Yeah, and see, it's coming back to me. I didn't have this wrote down, but yeah, when he looks over and sees the axe and he like sets dude up, he just plays him like a
smiles too. He goes,
yeah,
it's the best thing ever.
Exactly. And he goes out, he's just like, you saw it, self-defense. It just it was so cool how he set him the fuck up like that. And
he's like, by the way, I set up that dynamite for you.
Yeah, and they're all so fucking dumb, dude. He knew they'd fall for it. One step ahead for Ringo, dude.
Every time. So
what was your favorite, fight scene or scene, I should say, not fight scene. That was just the fight scene was
not unimportant scene because I have one of those too, but favorite fight scene.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite scene, any favorite scene in general. Action scene, whatever it might be.
I would say I have two. I think the first one is very towards the beginning where the 3 bandits show up and he's playing like that hopscotch game with the kids.
Oh, yeah, love that shit.
Yeah, and he's just like, let's play a new game. The first person to cross that line, gets a bullet. They just like they don't even cross the line, and he just like does a couple hops, turns around and blasts them all. And then the other one,
self-defense again.
He did. I'm telling you, he's like, you saw that, kids. He stepped on the crack. But then the other scene, where he's tied up and the guy's whooping on him, and then as soon as he gets down, he just whips the shit out of him for a second. He's like, it's just a matter of principle. I don't like being beat up when I can't defend myself.
It's true. I dig that shit too.
Love those. Yeah, they were amazing.
And you gotta love, dude, like being in the jail cell, dude. Well, I've heard this
Oh
before,
yes. Oh yeah.
where
That was
they
great
talk
too.
about like all great like stories start off, or like no great stories have like a glass of milk, or no hero has a glass of milk, or start off with a glass of milk, whatever that old adage is. Like
Yeah.
you've seen like the meme, it's got like fucking Javier Bardem's character and like No Country for Old Men drinking milk, and then you got like Clockwork Orange or drinking milk. You could add this one to the list because he's asking for like a nice warm glass of milk while he's in fucking jail, and he's just chugging it, and he's the G'est dude in this movie. So gotta love that.
Absolutely.
What
Yeah.
about like
That's
Kill?
awesome. I forgot about the milk.
Yeah, dude. Kill. Like you don't even necessarily have to do a kill. You could do it like a fight scene or something like that. Cause like the kills, they stand out, but it's more of just there's not necessarily that many like punchline type kills that are just like, whoa. But I did like the last one where he had to do like the ricochet bullet off of like the bell or whatever it was. I'm trying
That
to
was
think. Yeah, it
sick.
was like 3 weeks ago.
He
All
did
I
that
have
smile
wrote
thing
down is
then too.
last kill. But boom, ping, and then it like goes off that, hits him. Yeah, I love the way he just measured that up. And again, it's always like that stuff like that that comes across as silly. You know, sometimes it can be a fun silly, but then there's times where it's silly and it's just boring. And then there's times where it can be fun silly, but also again, your lead actor is that believable that you almost believe it. And you're like, man, he's got that kind of bravado. I think he could do that shit. And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of like that kill in this character, I think. Definitely did
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, Ringo, especially in the first one. Yeah, he's unstoppable. Yeah, he's just like no matter what he does, he's going to be smarter than you, quicker to the draw. You know, he's
Mhm.
unbeatable. You
Yeah, good
know.
shit. Did you have
So
a
yeah, I
different
do. I
one for
actually
that?
do. Well, yeah, I did. I actually, it's a kill. My favorite kill, as morbid as it is, was the first hostage that they
Oh,
kill when they line them all up, and
oh
they're
yeah.
like, you don't have to worry about it, you know, because it's all left up to faith, you know, and you know probably nothing's going to happen to you, and you know everybody, you know, you won't know if you die, so you can die
Yeah.
happy, and then they, you know, the second guy gets the bullet, and it's kind of a little bit shocking and jarring, just you know,
Yeah.
because you know you expect a couple clicks and stuff to go down the line and draw it out. Maybe Ringo stops them, but no, yeah, the second shot and they blast him.
Yeah,
And
dude.
yeah, so it stood out to me as being a little bit darker and kind
Yeah,
of a lighthearted movie. So I appreciated that, but that they still kept it kind of goofy and light with the dialogue. And I love like,
exactly.
and that's something else about the movie is absolutely love the bandits in this movie, like the dialogue they have with the townspeople and with each other, and they're all completely
Mhm.
different. Like you have your charismatic one, you have the dumb leader, and you have the paranoid one, you have the one that you know wants to rape that girl constantly, and so you just have like this
Yeah, that
huge
dude's an
plethora of
asshole.
characters. And yeah, I hated that guy. He got the ass whooping and knife to the back he
Yeah.
deserved though.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like they were really goofy, but every time you got to the point where you're like, I'm done taking them seriously, they do some just like chaotic shit. It's just like, oh, they're not fucking around either though.
It's like,
So
oh
they
yeah, these are
were to be
bad guys.
feared at
Yeah.
the same time. So they did a good job of like ebbing and flowing and when they were towing that line, I think. Um this is one I don't have writ down or wrote down, wrote, what the fuck? Location on set.
Ooh.
Which is what I normally I have this all wrote out, but apparently I was a piece of shit 3 weeks ago, and I probably would have went back and figured this out, but then did
I know
not.
that I know where they're based, but I don't know
Yeah,
if they're actually filmed there. That's
yeah,
the thing. They're
yeah. I
based
feel
in
it.
like in a town called like
Mhm.
Mendola, Texas, or something like that. But I don't know exactly where filming took place. I don't
Hmm.
even think they'd have deserts in Italy. Maybe the
No.
California deserts.
Then again, I don't know shit about Italy, but it doesn't sound right. Like Venice?
No,
Is that
no, I
in
don't
Italy?
think that's no. It's definitely not right. I'm almost 100% certain they did not film this in Italy. It was the dumbest thing I've ever said in my life. I'm going to edit that out. Not really.
The deserts of
Let's see.
Italy.
The deserts of Italy, yeah. You know, where the ancient
That
Mayans
sounds like a
lived.
dope ass death metal name.
All right. It was
Band name.
no fucking joke. It was filmed in Almeria, Spain.
Tried telling you. I'm just playing. Yeah, I figured it was probably something.
That's what you said, right? Didn't you say that?
Yeah, it was. You edited it out is what happened. You're supposed to throw it back in.
I forgot. I was supposed to edit that part where I said that stupid shit about Italy.
Yeah, and then you took mine out. It's all good. We all have these.
God damn it.
Ugh. All right. Best unimportant scene. I just put just how dumb they are, but we've already pretty much covered that. And it's mainly like the scene you were talking about that, like, that's when it really popped in my head the hardest, when they had him tied up and he talked his way out of it. Even though he had a fucking gun like right to his chest after getting beat up, and he even got to get a few licks in after he got put down. Like, and it's just how fucking stupid is this group of people? That's basically all I had to say about that, and we kind of touched on it a little more. So there's no reason to beat a dead horse. You get the point, and especially if you saw this movie. Unless you didn't pick up on anything, you might be just as dumb or as dumb as us for thinking there was deserts in Italy. But yeah, like, you can see it through and through how simple it is, that this is just the dumbest group of fucking guys. Like, all you needed was somebody with somewhat of brains, and Ringo was more than happy to like apply that to any of these situations and take advantage of it.
Like, he loved it. He loved every second of it.
Oh yeah.
And by the end of it, you even start to realize that the couple of ass beatings he took could have very well been on purpose.
Yeah.
Like you start to realize, like, he could have possibly done anything he wanted at any given moment. Like, this is the John Wick of the spaghetti western universe right here. But yeah, okay. So there were a couple things as far as unimportant scenes that I liked. So one thing that I liked that they threw in there was how he kind of had a catchphrase. Just always saying, like, it's a matter of principle. And to explain everything, like, it put him. Like, that means, like, this, what I say has to make sense. It's a matter of principle. And
added vibes.
And then when the bandits at the beginning of the film blow up the vault in the bank, and they're leaving, and he's like, it's a great scene. The whole thing is great. But Chico, as he's leaving, he says something. Cigar. yeah. And he's like, "Oh, what? You've never seen Dynamite?" But Harry's like, "You don't know what dynamite does? You might want to get behind your desk."
Yeah.
But then when he's leaving, he tells him, he's like, "Nobody move, nobody make any sudden movements. We're getting out the door." Well, they go out the door. The guy comes running around the counter, and he just busts in super quick, shoots him. And he's like, having nerves like that is really bad for your health. He's like, "See you later," and just jets out.
Dude.
That's probably my favorite unimportant scene. Just the fact that they took the time to have him have somebody else try something just real quick, and he, without even looking, just
patches up more of their dumbass. I almost said dumbassities. I guess that works. That's a new.
We can make up one.
That's a new word we're creating right now. Goose. That's what I was trying to look up.
Goose. I got you.
You got him.
I got you.
I think there's only one. I only see one. If it's even worth it, I haven't even read it.
Okay, I'm going to just read it before I have a chance to read it. It says, in the first hunting scenes shot in the Tabernas Desert area, you can see a distant car driving in the background mountains when the sheriff's posse is passing, hunting the Mexican bandits. Okay, so I guess there's a car somewhere hidden in the background.
Yeah.
That's
the Tabernas Desert area of Italy. Very nice.
Yes. Is that a Fiat?
Yeah. Hell yeah. 1965.
Yeah.
Just, what is going on? What is happening?
And I think this one's like based around the Civil War period, whereas like the next one's based in like the 1890s, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's weird. These movies are strange because it's a sequel, but nobody's playing the same fucking characters. Like, even Ringo's like a different version of Ringo.
It's just a different Ringo. Yeah, completely. I was trying to explain that to my mom earlier. I was like, I don't know how to make this make sense to you.
Multiverses are hot right now, dude.
Yeah, I actually used that. Yeah, I was like, it's like a different universe,
just different person from different time. Same fucking alpha male.
That's right, dude. He is a beast.
Yeah, deleted scenes. I did not have any on this.
I'm usually lacking on that if I don't have like the physical copy, and I didn't. I just watched.
Unless I'm lying to y'all, but I'm pretty sure I looked 3 weeks ago when we were gonna. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and I don't remember seeing it on there, which is really kind of let me down. I was hoping they had some on some of these Scream Factory Arrow releases I've had, but haven't seen any. And there's
Wow.
none on the next one, so I might as well just say fuck it on the next one. Did the
Yeah,
ending
there you go.
deliver? For me,
Yes.
I'm not gonna say it didn't deliver. I'm not gonna say it like wowed me
Oh.
either. It was all right. Like I liked it. I'm trying to even
Mhm.
remember what the fuck happened. It's been 3 weeks. I remember everything went to shit, and he shot Chico, whatever the fuck fat dude's name is. That's
Yeah.
laying
Shot
dumbass.
him. He's the one he tings it off
Yeah,
the
I
bell.
remember
Yeah.
all that shit, and I remember
The
the
dad gets shot and he
yeah, I
dies, but
remember
he becomes a hero at the end because
yeah,
he shoots like 5 of them.
yeah, I remember the
No, wait,
shit going
is that the
down.
second one? Did I just get?
And dude, it's tough.
Yeah, I just got messed up. Yeah, no, okay. So at the end of the first one, he does get shot, but he lives.
The second one's like more of a shootout, I think. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
it
remember
is.
exactly what happened the first one because again, it's been like 3 weeks for me. I know he was like acting as if he's gonna help him, and then he went back to like the base or whatever, and then lit him up, and then he came back, and there was only so many left, and then he had to like finish them off.
Yeah,
But
and then he rode off. He was talking to the sheriff at the
he's
end.
at
The
the top
sheriff,
of the hill at the end, ain't he, with the
yeah, and
horse
he's
and
riding off.
that
And
backdrop?
the guy that plays Morning Glory in the second one says something about he's like it's just a matter of principle because they're talking about how he
Yeah.
took 30%,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 'cause he had to get
$15,000. I wonder
more.
what $15,000 would be in 1865.
Yeah, it's weird that never registers to me. Anytime I hear money in like older movies, I'm never like, how much would that be right fucking now though? I never look at it like that.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
That's like watching the Zatoichi movies. Like they're always like complaining over like I forget what their form of currency is, but they'll be complaining over it in the Zatoichi movies. And me and my brother like looked it up, and it's like he literally just killed 15 people over a penny. Like, oh my god, because like it's not worth shit. Like in our money, I'm just like, dude, that's 5 cents. He just cut that dude's throat. Holy shit. Yeah. So like,
I'm trying to look this up right now, but how much that would be? But oh, okay, so that would have been about $280,000 today.
yeah, it's a bit more bang for your buck. I mean, fuck. Over what
That's what I'm
was the
talking about.
original? 115, 100. What was it?
It was 15,000.
Oh, yeah, it was only 15. Yeah, I thought you said 115,000. So it's only
No, that would have been
15,000.
hella money. Hella
I'm just
money.
like, damn, bro. That's like,
He
I
made off with a
mean,
solid quarter mil.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's insane. Yeah, but ending was definitely not bad for me. Obviously, like I'm remembering it more as I'm talking about it. But like it was good. It just wasn't like great to me or bad. It had
See,
its
yeah, for
moments.
me it was this movie was your predictable goofy spaghetti western. So
Hmm.
like this was, and that's what separates it completely from the next one we're going to talk about, and we'll figure out which vibe I liked more, because they're completely different vibes. The next one's a
Oh,
lot more
100%.
melancholy and like depressing and dark as shit,
Yeah.
but this one is funny. And so I didn't care so much about the story in this one. It was more about the
Yeah.
comedy, the next punchline. And so that the
Mhm.
way that they tied it together and ended it, he got away with the original 30% instead of trying
Yeah.
to take more, like you might think he would with the way he
Yeah.
bargained and everything. You found out, oh, he really is a good guy, and he agreed to his original deal. I thought it tied it together good, and I liked it. And
Yeah.
but I did
Solid.
make the mistake of going into the second one expecting it to be a sequel.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb scores. There's no tomato score on this. I couldn't find a single review, so we have
Wow.
nothing. That's gonna happen with some of these just because they're
Okay.
older movies and not as popular. IMDb
Yeah.
scores. This has a 6.5 out of 10. It's respectable. It's not amazing, but for a lot of the movies we review on this channel, they're gonna have a lot of low scores. 6.5 is not too shabby. Personal scores though. What we got? What are you thinking?
All right. Well, it's a lot higher than what IMDb has it. I'll tell you that. I give Ringo a 8.0, so just a solid 8 out of 10.
Nice.
It's right there on the great line for me. I love these spaghetti westerns. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is one of my all-time favorite movies. And
Oh yeah,
the more and
amazing.
more I watch these, Jimbo is too, which is a samurai, pretty much spaghetti type movie, and it's amazing. By Akira Kurosawa. So I absolutely love those types of movies. Anytime that I can watch one, it's even decent, I fall in love with it and the characters. Montgomery Wood playing Ringo, classic character, great actor, and it just really did the thing for me. So yeah, 8 out of 10.
For me, I'm higher than IMDb too, but I'm also lower than you. For me, 7 out of 10 is really good. It's a 7.2 out of 10 to me. I really like this movie a lot. I don't quite love it, but it's great for its era and what it is. I think I prefer the tone and the feel of the second one more, to be honest. And that might reflect in my score. It might not, but it's solid overall. One thing that's kind of cool about this movie, if you're like really paying attention to the storyline and shit, it's technically like a Christmas movie, even though there's no Christmas vibes going on.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I'm gonna add this to the 25 Days of Christmas from here on out. My wife's gonna continue to be pissed off because all the classic Christmas movies are just leaving more and more. It's just like, what the fuck is there? I'm like, wait, minute number 45. It's about to be Christmas. Listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like,
what a way to spend Christmas.
Yeah, and then the next movie we watch is Invasion USA with Chuck Norris, and she's just like, can we just fucking put on the Grinch or something? What is going on?
Yeah.
So that then leads us into the sequel that's also not quite a sequel. The Return of Ringo. Ringo returns.
He's back. Or is he?
Yeah.
Because not really.
He is, but is he or isn't he? I don't know. Don't know what's happening here, but I really don't. It's been 3 weeks, like I said. No, I'm just fucking around. Return of Ringo. This one, like you said, and I kind of just said, it is a weird tonal shift, and seeing as it's different people, you can maybe not get behind it. And I wonder if that's kind of what happened to you watching the sequel the first time or second time, whatever it's been for you.
Definitely is.
Where you're just like, man, I couldn't get into it at first because I was expecting something different, but now watching it on its own merits, damn, this might even be better than the first. Gonna be interesting to see how that works out for you. Do we have the plot on this one, Derek? Or you need me to pull it up?
I got you. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, so this one was also released in 1965.
It's wild. They just dropped
3 minutes.
Like that.
I know, man. It's crazy. It was 3 minutes shorter. So it's an hour and 35 minutes.
Nothing
and it says, a returning Union officer discovers that his home has been overrun by Mexican bandits and infiltrates the gang to restore order and determine if his wife has been faithful to him. And again,
cool with that.
That's a
sounds
great
like
summary.
A good shoot 'em up.
I mean, that's accurate. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So that's a good job, IMDb, on those movies. You did a good job.
Nailing it. We got you said runtime already. That's right. And movie year. I was about to ask some dumb 65. Shit. I just heard you say that. 65 and 3 minutes shorter, right?
That's right.
Awards and noms. I'm not thinking there's any of those. We'll always strike out on these until the one time we don't.
Yep, none. So,
no way. No way. This is where it's getting interesting. For me, performance is still Ringo, because even better for me here. But you're saying, I don't know, maybe it's the tan. He's even more beautiful. Something's going on here. Ringo's even better. You're saying there's a different performance if you listen to earlier in the video on this one. So this has got me all juiced up. What we got?
Okay, so Montgomery Wood again. He does a great job.
I thought you played another role. You threw me off. No. It's like, so it is Montgomery Wood again, just not as Ringo. I'm like, is he playing a dual role?
Yeah, it's like, how do I not know this?
Dude, Professor, this was like the original Clumps, man. Professor Clump. He was just scattered around like Eddie Murphy. Yeah, like he did a damn good job. I saw him one time.
Wow. No, you didn't see all those other performances.
No, he did a great job of playing Ringo in a different variation. God knows what he can do if he's playing another character with a different name. I get it.
Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I have a different background now. I had to switch computers. I need to order a charger this week so that my computer stops dying every time I use it for a few minutes. But we're going to pick up where we left off, where I give my favorite acting performance. Like I said, Montgomery Wood did a great job in both of these movies. but I really got to give it to somebody else this time, because the second time I watched this, somebody stood out in the little nuances of acting, like the little facial expressions and the comedic timing. And his performance in the first movie, so he was in the first movie, was not great in my opinion. It was good, but he really stepped it up in this one, in my opinion. And his name is, or Fernando Sancho, maybe.
Isn't that the main guy from the first one, the main bad guy?
Yeah, so that's Chico from the first one. And in this one, he plays one of the Fuentes brothers, Esteban.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and man, something about the way he does little things, like there's a part where he has a flower in his hand, and the way he turns, he looks at the camera all swaggy, and he's like, smells the rose, and I don't know, little things like that they do with his character really kind of put him above. I think he really hit like the nail on the head almost every single time with his performance in the second one.
Yeah, he shines the brightest for sure out of the rest of the cast, I'd say, even in both of them.
Yeah.
I forget who it is. There's a female actress in this one that I think is really good, though. And I can't think of who it is. I can't remember if it's like his wife that it might be his wife that he's saving or attempting to save. I don't know. I can't remember exactly which female it is. I just know one of the females gives a good performance in this one. I was like, damn,
they both do, actually.
It's like she stepped her game up in this one.
I think both of the ones that return do a really good job in this one. I think the acting in the second film is by far better.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, because something I didn't touch on about the first one. There's a guy in the first one with the border patrol when they're trying to stop the bandits from crossing over at the very beginning. The second guy who gets shot, he doesn't react at all to the first guy getting shot. And then when he gets shot, he's about a second late, and he just kind of falls sideways. And then I just remember thinking, like,
so that was actually... Yeah, that was actually your favorite performance.
It was, and I forgot all about this guy. I bet he went on to do great things.
Sure he did. That guy went on to become Daniel Day-Lewis. No.
The best actor. God, it's funny you say him, because I think that Daniel Day-Lewis is the best actor maybe ever.
Yeah, well, Daniel Day-Lewis is going to play in the Ringo in the remake.
Dude, he better.
That'd be wild.
70-year-old Daniel Day-Lewis, 80 however old he is.
Bring it on. What about like action scene or just scene in general?
All right.
You can go first if you.
It's more of a shot. It's more of like a shot that's in the film, and I love the way they did it. So, like I said, this one's a little darker, a little bit more intense. So you have this scene where the girl that is sleeping with the Fuentes brother. She's the what's his name, Esteban character, the guy that plays Chico in the first one. I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of an echo, and it's kind of throwing me off. The prostitute at the saloon, and after she realizes she's kind of sold them out, and she's sitting there in this rocking chair on the front porch, and he walks by behind her, and he stops kind of still in frame, and he turns and looks at her, and she never stops rocking or glances at him or anything, and he kind of like stands there almost like sympathetic to the used her. He just kind of keeps going, and something about the way that's shot and what it says for his character and her character, and the development of the story and what he's willing to do at this point, and the fact that she's kind of like accepting it, that these guys are about to fall, this town is changing. It's just a really well told scene, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love little shit like that too. A lot of times that's what'll grab me the most, and like maybe someone else wouldn't even thought twice about that scene, but just having an eye for that type of shit is what makes filmmaking and film in general very cool. Because honestly, like that scene wasn't even on my radar, but like thinking back on it, listening to you explain it, like, I mean, yeah, there definitely was something there for sure.
Yeah, it's great.
For me, Ringo getting his like shooting hand broke. Something about that whole scene was just great to me. Just thinking of how like devastating that should be, like for him, and also like the little first like reunion with him and like his wife, like that whole scene.
That's a great scene.
The music in this movie is fan-fucking-tastic. That little theme that keeps playing, dude, it gives me like chills for some reason.
I think both movies had really good scores, but you're right.
Yeah. But this
one thing about, I gotta tell you something about this movie though, about the music. There's one scene in particular where he's out in the woods and the daughter comes running up to him.
Yeah.
And it's just playing this absolute shrieking, shrill music. like this repetitive.
Yeah.
It doesn't match the scene, and it's super loud and overbearing. And I just remember that's just the weirdest thing. I don't know whose idea it was, but it's just like the one time in the film that the music and the score doesn't match. But not only does it not match, it's like awful, just
Yeah.
awful. But other than that, yeah, great score. Great way to tie in music and to tell the story with music throughout the rest of the film.
Pretty incredible, even with that scene in the mix. Yeah, I mean I don't know, but that said shit is just like it's bad, but like is it also like good because of how bad it is? Like, what are they doing? And it's like a laughably fun kind of bad. But I mean, I know exactly what you mean. Other than that, like I guess you could do action scene if we have one of those. What's your favorite action scene? For me, it's pretty cut and dry. Shootout, kill, action scene. You can choose any of those topics. Really, is like just Ringo invading the house at the end. Everything that was. I mean, it's the main event. It's easy to pick, but they did the main event right in this movie. It's legit. I dug
absolutely. Okay, so mine, I went a little bit different route with my choice, but that's okay. That's why this is great. We've kind of been on the same page, for a lot of this so far. But so for this one, for me, it was there's a part where Esteban, again, this is one of the other reasons he's one of my favorite characters in this movie and my favorite actor for the film. He's riding by after I forget exactly what part of the movie it is. But, him and his guys, they're up to no good, and they're riding out of town. He's like, yeah, and he's riding his horse. And there's just this guy standing in the road, and on his way by, he just pushes him down. Just riding on his way by, and I don't know why, but it was just one of my favorite things about the movie. And maybe that would be more of my answer for favorite unnecessary scene. I don't know.
Best unimportant scene? That's actually
dude, I just love something about the way they do that. And it's like the opposite, right? So like in the first movie, one of my favorite things was the darkest scene in the comedy movie. And it's kind of funny that like the comedy scene in the dark movie is my favorite. Yeah. It's odd.
Yeah. Wild how that gets flip-flopped. Best unimportant scene. This is where it gets real funny. This is the one I was reading and I had no idea. I still don't understand what the fuck I mean. I literally wrote down, he let them turn around, butterfly minigun.
I don't think any more needs said. No, I get it.
Yeah, it's great. You know what I mean? That's got to be the best unimportant scene. Let them turn around, butterfly minigun.
That's right.
I think what it was like something stupid happened, like where it might have been a thing where at the end where they're shooting a minigun. I don't know if it's a butterfly minigun. I don't know if that's a type of minigun, and that's why I called it that because I heard them call it that in the movie. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here, but I feel like I remember there being something stupid like that because my next point kind of goes into more stupid territory, and I feel like I remember having like a ripple effect going on where it's like that's dumb, then that's dumb. So I feel like I remember this being stupid. I think it was a thing where it was something like they could have shot him, but then they like let him turn all the way around, and they're like, "All right, now shoot!" Like I think it was something. I don't know if it's that exactly, but something along the lines like that.
I can't remember anything. Yeah,
comical. Like it was comical in the way they did something with the minigun. But I'd have to rewatch. It's been a whole 3 weeks. Yeah,
I don't blame you, dude.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but when you watch as many movies as I do and shows, it all gets fucking mixed up in a matter of no time.
Okay, so an unimportant scene. I still have an answer, but mine is more of a. So I just now realized that these answers should have been flipped. So unimportant scene should have been when he pushes the guy down. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. It's so all stuffy. Good. But and then my favorite scene should have been this. It's more of a quote where I think I'm trying to remember who he's talking to, but he says like if you're not he's pretty much saying if you're not afraid, you can only die one time. I think he says like if you're not afraid, you can only die once. And I don't remember. In that scene and the way that he's pretty much saying that like, he's talking to the sheriff, and pretty much telling him you need to stand up to these guys who are taking over your town instead of letting them run everything, and you're just sitting here in this bar watching them cheat at cards all day, and not making any arrests or doing anything about it. And so at one point, he just pretty much tells him, you've got to stop being afraid. A man who isn't afraid can only die once. And, pretty much telling every day you wake up afraid, you're dying that day, at least in your mind, do the right thing,
Yeah. It's some solid sound advice just in general.
It is. Yeah, I know. When he said it, I was like, oof.
Man, hit me with some deep shit.
Damn, bro.
It's fucking Shakespearean.
God damn.
What was that?
Yeah. But yeah, so, and then I do just something I wanted to mention. I had a complaint about the film. Morning Glory's voice.
Mm-hmm.
The voice he uses in this film. And I watched the original version with the English subs. So it's the whatever voice actor or him that, and it is just awful. It's awful.
See, I'm watching so you're so you're okay. So you're not listening to dubbed. You're listening to.
I'm listening in Italian. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, my brain got backwards there. So
listening in Italian in the English subs, and his voice, he talks like this throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And it is literally every time he
almost
speaks,
like Elmo or some shit, but
with a scratch in it, and it's just the worst thing. And he doesn't talk like that in the first film.
Yeah,
the actor. So I don't know. It was a terrible choice.
But
really, my only complaint, probably my only complaint about it, other than the fact that I went into it not expecting it to be not funny.
Yeah, so you already know from the first film that he doesn't sound like that, so you can call him out. So you're like DiCaprio in that meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You're like, he's doing it.
He's doing
it. What the fuck is that? I know you don't sound like that.
There we go. There's our thumbnail of both of us.
Yeah, or at least you can sound better. I know that because you showed me that. If you do sound like that, keep changing your voice. Jesus, dude. Do not do that. What about goofs?
So goofs. Let's see. There are none.
There's none.
There are no goofs.
All right, moving on. Deleted scenes, and like I said, there are also none. Let's jump into that ending. Did it deliver? More of what I said. The whole fucking, if it even is a butterfly minigun, might be a caterpillar minigun. I don't know what insect family it's from, but it's a minigun and it tears shit up. And so it's cool to see in these older movies a minigun just tearing through shit, and everybody almost looking at it just like, how'd it get that? Fucking old ass
witchcraft. What in tarnation?
Yeah, just blowing shit to shit. Which you know what blowing shit to shit is. I mean, no one really knows what that means, but
we all know what it
means. Vibe. Yeah, it's a weird thing. And shit was getting blown to shit. And there's just all types of shit. I actually skipped over dumbest or cringiest moment, I think, but that was a funny thing that happened at the end. You expect us to believe that fucking Ringo really pulled himself up with his bad arm, just one arm up the whole fucking building. There's no way. Just with the fucking offhand.
Have you ever tried to do some shit like that?
There's no way. But that leads into an awesome moment.
He's actually just walking, on the ground, and they got the cameras.
Off arm, just fucking pulling and flexing. I work out all the time. There's no way I can do that.
It's like Captain America holding the helicopter.
Yeah. And even Captain America, I was like, bro, that's a tall task right there. Ringo with one arm and it's your off arm. It's a taller task, sir. You are not Captain America. I love you, Ringo, but you're not Captain America.
Nope.
But that led to an awesome shootout. And the time with his daughter, where he kind of kept her hidden and shit, and then was just blowing people away. It was a way more entertaining ending act to me. This one I loved it. This is did the ending deliver? Not all right. This is a yes. The ending delivered for me. Dug it.
Nice. Good deal, man. Yeah, and same for me. Even originally, when I first watched them, that's something that stood out to me was the ending. Was that then the first one, it was perfect for the first movie and how it was and how it set it up. But in the second movie, it really is it reminds me of one of those old, really good Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns where, they build up throughout this whole movie. You fall in love with this character, and then there's this huge showdown. Okay, so yeah, it just really packs a punch like a lot of those old westerns did, and it just fits perfectly into those old spaghetti westerns that I love so much. I've got to get both of these in some kind of collector's edition like you have, because they belong up there on the shelf.
It's great. We done gave a shout out to Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and for a few dollars more, I'm just gonna say Fistful of Dollars, just because that might be my favorite of the trilogy. That might be controversial, but the first
Which one's
one,
the remake of Yojimbo? One of them is it? I think it's Fistful of Dollars.
Might be.
I think it's the remake of Yojimbo.
Could be.
But anyway, great movies. But yeah, so what are we down to the rating?
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gave it no score again. IMDb, we got an improvement, 6.7 instead of 6.5. So we got a 0.2 more. Again, respectable for these type of movies. What about our personal scores? I can go first this time. The tone and everything does help for me here. There's a lot more. It's weird. Like the first one might even have like a couple more scenes that like stand out to me, like that, like just pop into my head quicker. But the second one, the more consistent tone, and honestly, the musical score is just so perfection. How they keep adding in the scenes, and I think Ringo as a lead's even better here, and the performances are better to me overall as a whole. This one's just a better made movie to me. I agree with IMDb, not on score, but that it's a little bit better than the first. And my personal score, still not an 8, but we damn close, 7.8 out of 10. I really, really highly enjoyed this movie. It's a damn good spaghetti western.
That is really close to great on the old Brandon Richter. So the first time I watched this one, like I said, like we talked about a little bit earlier, I did not know what to expect, and I really didn't like it that much. I mean, I did. I enjoyed it, but
it didn't.
The first one was an 8. And, this one was, after I watched it the first time, it was a 7.4. And, but then I rewatched it. Luckily, it's kind of a good thing that we had to postpone so many times because I really got a better appreciation for the film. And when it's all said and done, I agree with you on almost everything you said about the movie. The music is great, except for that one scene. Everything about this movie is great, except Morning Glory's voice. And so, honestly, it's an 8.2 out of 10 for me. So it's nice. And this one is it passed the first one. It's a little bit better for me. And I'm typically one who likes kind of the more comedy driven spaghetti westerns just because they don't take themselves too seriously. But this one, the storyline and the way that they, shoot Montgomery Wood's character, Ringo, in this movie, like from the shadows a lot, and just kind of peering at people that he's about to get their ass. It's just something about that. The director, for him to be able to do both of these movies with a similar character, but go 2 completely different routes, and them to both be over 8 for me, over 7 for you. I mean, I've looked up more by him since I watched these, and he's got about a handful of others I really got to see.
Yeah. For sure. Dude's got some skills behind the director's chair.
He's good. He's got it.
Yeah, these are some of the better, I think, kind of forgotten spaghetti westerns if you want to dive into ones that aren't completely forgotten about, aren't in the doldrums, but ones that aren't as mainframe, like your Clint Eastwoods and shit.
It's really hard to find reviews for these on YouTube. I found that out. So we're going to be one of the only videos up about it.
Hell yeah, man. Happy and proud to be there, though.
All right. So, hey, you want to talk about a little bit about what we got going on the channel and the reviews you have coming out soon?
Oh, yeah, man. I've got all kinds of reviews. I mean, Jesus Christ, I just did, before I did this, actually one of my better reviews, I was feeling like real foggy and fucked up after I left the theater for some reason. I don't know. I was just like in a funk or some shit. But I just watched A Good Person, which is not really cult flick like at all. But like I guess we'll throw like brand new reviews up on this channel. Other than that, it's going to be like our full on podcast of this, and Derek might do the same. But if it's like a brand new movie, toss it up. A Good Person's a good little drama with Florence Pugh and Morgan Freeman that just dropped this past Friday. If you're into that kind of thing too, definitely go see it. John Wick 4, I got that review up on Box Office Banter now, but we might edit it, release it over here. It's me and the other guys from Box Office Banter.
Spoilers. Yeah, I figured that what we do with that is I'll upload your review and I'll do like a little short
Hell
like
yeah.
an actual, like, one of the YouTube formatted short videos, just like a 60-second, like me going in, me coming out with a knee-jerk reaction, boom, no spoilers.
You can do your own full review too, though. It's 2 different takes. It would work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that
Derek's
people
and then
appreciate both our angles.
Brandon's. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
we
good
we come
shit.
from two like similar appreciations for film with 2 very different mindsets a lot of time, and that's why
Yeah.
we work together well.
Yeah, makes it more interesting. Then, I mean, there's all types of shit I've been fucking posting lately, man. And other stuff on the other channel that I'm not gonna throw on over here, like Yellow Jackets. I'm covering that right now.
Yes, I still have to watch that show, man.
Good
I've watched
fucking
like your
show.
first couple reviews of it.
Other than that, my mic just shit out on me. Not mic, camera. Mic, we're assuming is still
Everything is
working.
shitting out on us.
God, dude. You getting the shit for the shit, whatever the fuck I
We
said
talked
there.
about this shit and
Yeah,
shit and
whatever.
shit.
Something with shit twice. But if you can still hear me, is this thing on? Police Story. We're about to do that coming up. We're gonna be covering not the whole Police Story
Yes.
saga, because there's like new Police Story and all that other shit. Even First Strike is considered Police Story 4. But I just got the Eureka 4K collection of the first 3. So the Police Story original trilogy, 1, 2 through Super Cop. We're gonna drop those, and we're gonna cover those 3 movies. Should be this week, unless there's other postponements. I hope not, but there'll still be more reviews coming at you regardless, and hopefully we're able to post that one up here real soon too. And hopefully you
Absolutely.
heard everything I said and it wasn't for nothing, and if it was, then Derek will chime in and say something very similar.
If you didn't hear him say everything that you heard him just say, then you're going to hear me say it. And if you did hear that, then you're not going to hear me say it. So congratulations.
Exactly.
But I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure you do like, subscribe. Give us any suggestions you have for cult films that you might have heard of that we might not have, because that's very possible in this community. That's what this community is all about. There's this niche of
100%.
films that a lot of people, these little groups, might know of. Share that with us. Let's go ahead and expand that a little bit, and let's get some people in here that know what they're talking about, and we can really start to dissect some awesome cult flicks
because we don't.
Symposium.
Damn right.
Awesome. Well, hey Brandon, that was awesome, man. Can't wait till next time. And y'all make sure you go check out Box Office Banter too. I'm going to make sure I link that down below. That's where Brandon and a lot of his friends, in person, where they don't have as many interruptions, talk about all sorts of stuff, including film, but not limited to film and television. So, and it's really awesome. And that's how we met and how I really started wanting to work with them. So y'all go check that stuff out.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Peace.
See ya.